Murky Divers is a unique multiplayer game that forces you to cooperate with your teammates. There are several monsters that the divers must avoid to be able to clean up the illegal experimental lab sites. But how do we avoid them and stay alive while trying? Well, let's find out. The sea monkey. Though there are several entities that can harm the player, these little cuties look like a friendly sea monkey. They won't harm the player, but they can be very freaking annoying, as they will attempt to steal whatever you're holding onto. When you're holding onto some cool and horrific genetic experiments, the sea monkey's neurons activate, filling itself with jealousy. He'll swim towards you, and then when he's close enough, he'll snatch the item out of your hands and quickly swim away. You can get your stuff back by punching them, or even preemptively stopping them by punching them before picking up an item. Honestly, just punch them the moment you see them. Trust me, it's not worth the headache trying to get your items back. You can also use the taser or the EMP upgrade to stop them as well. But we all know it's much more fun to punch them, right? God, I hate these the leeches. These are little worm-like leeches that will attach onto the player and slowly suck the life out of you. They are very persistent and will not let go. But don't worry, there are many ways to knock these little guys off you. One way is by having a teammate punch them off of you. This will cause the leech to be stunned briefly before patrolling out for more food. If you're playing by yourself, or your teammates suffer from some happy little accidents, then making your way back inside the submarine will cause them to let go. Using an EMP blast will also force them to let go of you. The best way to deal with these little guys is when you hear their screech, look around for them and punch them before they reach you. This will stun them without the need of your teammates' help. The Bombat. They look like little sea bats with a little bomb that they hold at their feet. The Bombbats are easily avoided if you do not make a sound near them. If you make a sound while swimming and picking up items, they will wake up and swim towards the last area sound was made from. If the player is still there, the Bombat will explode, but you have a few seconds to get away from it. These can be easily avoided if you dash out of the way, but it can be tricky in tight spaces. Honestly, if you need to get past these guys, I recommend that you make a sound near them and force them to explode. That way there won't be a situation where they'll catch you off guard. Careful though, if you do get caught in the explosion, it can do a decent amount of damage, which could lead to certain death. Overall, they're pretty easy to navigate. The Snapdragon. These guys will attach themselves to the floor, waiting for any unsuspecting creature to travel above it. This barnacle-like creature will snap at the player, hurting them if they directly swim above it, draining about 30% of your health. Though, it could be easily avoided if you swim around its radius. You can also punch, tase, or even EMP it, but it's much more simple to just avoid them and be careful where you swim. So I recommend saving your tools for other bigger fish. So just remember to check the floors while traveling around, or you might just be chomped. The Eey Shark. These guys can be difficult to avoid, but not impossible. The Eey Shark looks like it's mixed between a shark with razor-sharp talons. This creature is usually asleep in a curled up state, so it can be difficult to spot. And if a player gets too close or makes too much noise, it will be alerted and search for the player. If you're spotted, it uses its frog-like legs to chase you. Once close enough, it'll attempt to attack you with 3 fast slashes. If it hits you, it does 10 to 20% of your health. If it fails the attack, it'll spaz out for quite a few seconds, as if stunned before resuming the chase. The good thing is that this little guy is slow, so you can outswim it, but it's still good to avoid being seen by it in the first place. In some circumstances, you can't really avoid it, such as in tight spaces like the vents. This would be the best time to either use the taser stick or the EMP. The police. There's also a danger of having the cops searching the labs while you're exploring. These robotic-looking police officers will try their best to arrest you, searching rooms for any suspicious activity. When spotted, they will act like any corrupt cop, always acting as if an acorn fell nearby. They will have stun guns to shoot you down, and also do some damage to you as well. Just be careful as they swim roughly the same speed as the player, but won't follow you as much as the monsters do, so you could simply swim away around the corner to get away. Tasers and EMP also work on them as well, where you could easily just swim away or past them, and could use your EMP or taser on other dangerous monsters. The water bears. This fine fellow looks both cute and terrifying at the same time. This monstrous, gelatinous looking guy sucks the player in and slowly drains the life out of him. Once trapped inside, there is no way of getting out alone. Your EMP can't go off and you drop any item that you're carrying. However, your teammates can help save you. One way is by punching the water bear non-stop until he gets a tummy ache. He will then spit out the player and look like his stomach hurts. You monster. Using a stun stick or an EMP charge can also save your teammate. The water bear will slowly move towards a player when spotted. When it's close enough, it will attempt to quickly dash at the player, spinning around in the process. Because of their slow movement, they are easily avoided, but I do recommend keeping in groups of 2 when these guys are around, as they can easily catch you off guard. Oh, and it will follow you to your ship. Even if you have the door closed on him, keep away, as it can capture you through the door. The Reaper. The Reaper is one of the creatures that we recommend you use the EMP to stun. It is one of the scariest entities in the game, with a huge smiling skull, sharp turtle-like fins in front, and octopus tentacles for fast movement. This entity is one of the more dangerous in the game, as it is quick, but the player can still outswim him. A good way to deal with them is by getting them distracted by one player while the rest go inside risk-free. When the Reaper is close enough, it will quickly lunge in the direction in which the player is located. It is possible to dodge this attack. The Reaper will charge at the player where it was last located. Whether or not it hits the player, it will enter a cooldown phase, giving the player time to get away. But if this beast does hit you, it'll do a whopping 70% of your health in damage, and you'll need to go back to the ship, otherwise you will die by getting hit by basically anything else. It's best to learn how to avoid its attack. That or avoid this beast altogether. The Moth. The Moth is the most dangerous creature you can find in the game so far. This entity will stick around an area, waiting for any unsuspecting individual to come near. When a player gets too close, the Moth will start twitching its body. You will hear the sound of cracking as it opens its body. It'll then proceed to chase the player at very high speeds, faster than the player when dashing, and then chomp, an instant kill move. Every other creature in the game has some way to avoid it, and mostly does not instant kill the player. The Moth, however, will do this every time. The only real counter to the Moth is an EMP blast. This will stun it for a short duration, allowing you to escape. So remember to save up and upgrade everyone to have an EMP blast at the ready. Which, by the way, I don't recommend using the stun stick on it. You'll most likely be killed before you're able to stun it. All in all, most of the monsters and other creatures are easily avoided, or should be avoided altogether. But sometimes it gets more difficult the further in the depths you go, as more difficult monsters spawn and in greater numbers. Although it is possible to run into the most difficult monsters right out the get-go, so do be careful because it's not safe even in the early game. This game is so much fun, and I'm looking forward to all the new updates this game has to offer, and it's incredibly fun to play with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and follow me on my Twitch if you'd like to see this content live. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all next time. See ya!